a stop to the silencing and a stop to the blacklisting, banishing, and canceling that you know so well.
Yes, that's right, folks. Donald Trump is back in our ethos, and he is suing Facebook, Google, and Twitter on behalf of victims of cancel culture. Although we all know the only person Trump is looking out for is Trump, especially after all of these platforms unceremoniously, for lack of a better term, banned him from their platforms. You know, he has just been trying to find a way now to get back at them for that. But I'm going to get into all those details in just a moment. But first, if you could do us a big favor and please tap that like button, we'd really appreciate it. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Former President Donald Trump has filed a major lawsuit against Google, Facebook, Twitter, and their CEOs for violating the First Amendment. During a press conference, he said, "I stand before you this morning to announce a very important and very beautiful, I think, development for our freedom and our freedom of speech, and that goes to all Americans." Adding, "Today, in conjunction with the American First Policy Institute, I am filing as the lead class representative a major class action lawsuit against the big tech giants including Facebook, Google, and Twitter, as well as their CEOs Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, and Jack Dorsey." For a long time, Donald Trump has been a controversial figure online, mainly because we never really thought that we'd see a president of the United States subtweeting the North Korean leader and calling him Little Rocket Man in the process. Trump being president terrified many and emboldened others. After having warnings regarding the election added to all of his tweets surrounding that mess, Twitter decided to ban him outright, citing that there was a risk of further incitement of violence. In what seemed to be a coordinated effort, Facebook did the exact same thing with their oversight board, ruling that the ban would last for at least 2 years. According to Axios, Trump is seeking immediate injunctive relief to allow the prompt restoration of his social media accounts, there it is, in addition to imposing punitive damages on the big three social media giants. This lawsuit is even being supported by the American First Policy Institute, which was a nonprofit launched for Trump's policies through the Constitutional Litigation Partnership. Or an easier way to say that is that Trump started a charity to defend his policies as president, because who would dare attack a charity? I'll tell you who, the people that don't want America to be first. The lawsuit is also apparently there to allow Trump to sue on behalf of people who feel like their lives have been negatively affected by Facebook and Twitter censorship, such as conservative commentators who speak frequently about being silenced, which is a bit of an oxymoron, but it is what it is. Now, while I am not a fan of Trump, I do agree that giving over this much power to 3 companies is a horrendous idea. We all know how powerful social media companies can be when it comes down to them acting on that power. Even here at I.O., we had a video from years ago that was up on our channel and never had any issues, and then all of a sudden there was a slight change to YouTube's policies and boom, our channel gets a strike and we're shut down for a week. We couldn't even do a community post if we wanted to, and our entire business model depends on creating content, so once you're not allowed to do that, it really shakes everything up. Although I'm not quite sure what a social media platform would look like if they just let everything go back to being the Wild West. I agree that there needs to be rules in place and guidelines put down, but when it comes to banning certain individuals, it needs to be handled by some third-party service separate from the company and without any context as to who that person is. Just simply ask them, based on what you see here and what you know our rules to be, do you believe this person violated the rules? Because if you said, do you believe Donald Trump broke the rules, and this person just happens to hate Trump regardless of working for Twitter or any social platform, they're not even going to need to see the evidence. They're just going to go, yeah, he's guilty. And same goes the other way as well. They're just going to immediately ban based on emotion alone, which is what we need to be getting away from here. While confirming Trump's continued ban, Facebook said in a statement, "We know today's decision will be criticized by many people on opposing sides of the political divide, but our job is to make a decision in as proportionate, fair, and transparent a way as possible, in keeping with the instruction given to us by the Oversight Board." With Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey later adding, "I believe this was the right decision for Twitter. We face an extraordinary and untenable circumstance forcing us to focus all of our actions on public safety. Offline harm as a result of online speech is demonstrably real and what drives our policy and enforcement above all." We would love to hear your thoughts on all of this though, so make sure you drop us a comment down below. And while you do that, I'm going to check out some of your comments from the video titled "Sha'Carri Richardson Banned from Tokyo Olympics." Senate Taylor says, "I feel bad for her, but she is an Olympic level athlete and should know how strict drug testing can be. She was in a very difficult situation and it's understandable that she is looking for a way to cope." Yeah, it's definitely just sad that she had to, turn to that in order to cope for that, or at least even say that she was smoking marijuana in terms of coping with that, because I think that also sheds a bad light on marijuana. Not everyone is doing that as a way to cope as well. Again, you just Can't feel anything but bad for her in this whole situation. But I do agree with what you said about her being an Olympic level athlete. She should have at least looked into the rules and realized that this was probably not a good idea. Jay Plaka says she had found out her mom died by a reporter and smoked some weed. I feel for that woman. Oh, trust us, Jade, we feel for her as well. Natalie Klein says, not me rolling one up while watching this, for real though, give the girl a break. She just lost her mom and deserves to chill in her free time. Yet no one is saying that she doesn't deserve to chill in her free time. People are just saying that it's illegal in Tokyo, it's illegal in the Olympics, so what are you gonna do? Trace MCG says, Johnny, your hair looks great. Thanks, Trace, appreciate that comment. John Doe says she knew the rules, come back stronger next Olympics. I mean, that's always the case, right? Hopefully this will just make her come back and just smash the records even more wow, I guess I was gonna say 4 years from now, but I guess the next, how do the Olympics work? It's 4 years, Winter Olympics, and then, or am I getting it mixed up? Is it every 4 years, but every 2 years is a different Olympics? Chris?
Yeah, I think it's summer every 2 years, and then winter.
Summer every 2 years, winter every 2 years?
Correct.
Either way, Shikari, if you're preparing for the next Olympics, don't smoke or eat any weed for at least 90 days beforehand. That's how long THC stays in your blood. Well, you've just learned something new from IO. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been your host, Johnny Rogers, and until next time, stay classy, YouTube, or at least try.